Hey guys, so I was inspired to make this video because there's a beach volleyball tournament coming up and the indoor season is slowly approaching as we're in July right now. So this video is with regards to the day prior to your actual tournament or game day. So a couple things we need to look at is one, we need to focus more on the concentric and we need to minimize eccentric loading. So what happens during the eccentric is your patella tendon goes under a lot of stress, which basically affects the performance and the holdup of your knee. So as you can imagine, as you're playing, just jumping repeatedly, if you're an outside middle, what happens is your knee and tendon just go through a lot of abuse. So the day prior, we don't want to add to that. So first thing we're going to do is you can do your standard warm-up. For me, it's about a 5-minute warm-up, get a light sweat on. Then I'll do some foam rolling on my legs because it just feels best for me. And then a dynamic warm-up, so basically leg swings is what I go through. Once we do all of that, we would probably want to go into something to just get the body warm, and I'm going to overlay that right now. So these are med ball throws. I'm using a wall ball for this one, and what you want to focus on is the actual triple extension. So that is your ankles, your knees, and your hips extending at the exact same time. And you want to work on your force production on this, and it gets the whole body warmed for the exercises to come. So next, and don't judge my form on this, we have cleans. So the variation of the clean we're going to do is power clean. The reason is because it's going to minimize the low catch in the front squat position, and you can still do a full range. I like working from the bottom as opposed to a hang clean because that gets a little bit more of the quad activation. As opposed to a hang clean, but either one works best, and do whichever one feels best for you. Those are with the clean. If you can't do the clean, I know my technique is bad, but I'm working on it. I would say go into a trap bar squat jump. So I use the straps because I want to focus more on my legs than my grip, and doing straps is a great way to do that. On this one, you want to hit your jump, and you don't want to focus a whole lot on bringing the weight to the ground, basically doing it slowly. You can just put that weight on the ground and not put stress on your actual patella tendon this way. So if you don't have access to a gym, there's a couple things you can do outside. So one are accelerated bounds. So with accelerated bounds, the best thing about this is it works on your single leg force production and being able to produce power at an accelerated rate. It takes some time to learn the actual steps involved in this, so take your time with it. Once you have that down, I would say go into your sprints. And sprints are a great way to basically get the legs firing at a high rate. And sprints are essentially a horizontal jump with quick leg motions. If you really consider it, eventually once you get to a certain point in your sprint, you are either going to stand upright and continue to run, because you know gravity's going to knock you down, or you're going to land basically flat on your face because you didn't accept gravity and it won. So basically work in the area in which you can still run at an angle and you don't have to come upright. After that, go into your box jumps. Important notes with box jumps here, notice that my hips are actually higher than my knees when I land. The reason for this is because a lot of people, they'll jump to try and hit a huge target, and they measure that for their success, but their butt is well below their knees, which puts a lot of stress onto your actual tendon. And that's the last thing we want to do. Make sure you step down from the box because we care about the concentric. We don't want to have the falling motion of this and having to catch yourself. It puts a lot of shock and elasticity into your legs, which we're not worried about so much with this exercise. So there it is, guys. Remember, focus on the concentric and try to minimize the eccentric loading. This is gonna help your legs basically in the long run. So you're gonna have less recovery time, which is great, especially the older you get. And you're gonna still feel like you can jump through the roof. So anyways, I hope this works out for everybody. Give it a shot. If it doesn't work, go back to what you know does work for you. See ya.